coaching and healing industry right now on the planet is just incredible. But the coaching industry is not, it's not a regulated industry.
Yeah.
So pretty much anyone and everyone can call themselves a coach, which is also beautiful. But the skill of coaching is actually very refined. The skill of understanding how to ask questions and to help your clients find the answers within is just a beautiful skill I fell in love with. And when I started my own spiritual journey over a decade ago, and I started doing coaching, but when I wanted to go to a coaching school and get officially accredited, I knew it was just a calling inside of me. I wanted to get an official certification. I looked for a coaching school that also understood this spiritual journey and what someone goes through when they go through the transformational process and how they transform, but it didn't exist. So I found a program that was as aligned as I could find at the time. And then after I left that coaching school and I had my own certification, I started coaching in my own way with my own experience with my spiritual teachers and, over a decade of studying energy, spirituality, being a public speaker and trainer for a long time. I had an understanding of energy that I then used to coach with. And I, began to put the two together with, the skill of coaching and the spiritual aspects. And with heart energy coaching was born from there. I had a friend actually reflect back to me that I was doing, I was doing some things here. And so from there, I started to pay attention, and the coaching school was born. And it's a beautiful journey. It's actually a 9-month-long training, but it's a beautiful journey that first guides you in. So we take all of our clients through a beautiful process to learn how to transform themselves, learn how to hold space for themselves. And then they learn the skill of coaching with it and how to actually do that for others. Because it's a process. I think so many people are, going through transformations themselves and then saying, I want to help others, but maybe without an understanding of how to do that safely. And so that's where we sit in that little pocket to help people get even more aligned and even more steady in their own process in order to hold space for others and, this transformation that the planet is going through in a very safe yet profound way.
Yes. And there's so much in that I want to unpack because you touched on 10 things that I feel are so vitally important. And one of those is understanding what transformation really is. Mm-hmm. Because that's another thing I see starting to unfold is seeing transformational coach in front of a lot of individuals. And as you said, the coaching industry isn't that regulated yet. Mm-hmm. We're getting there.
Yes.
But it isn't that regulated yet.
Right.
And so when you see transformational coach in front of somebody's title, what does that mean necessarily? And what are you signing up for? How do you know what questions to ask someone who says they're a transformational coach? You have an entire program dedicated to that.
Yes.
What would you advise someone who is saying, okay, I'm ready to transform. I'm ready to go down that journey, especially from a heart-centered place. And I see all of these people who are starting to now add that to the front of their title. Mm-hmm. What questions would you empower them with to say, okay, you should potentially consider asking these questions of these individuals?
Yeah, it's important to distinguish that just because someone has had their own transformation does not, I say this with love, it does not necessarily mean that they are capable of holding space safely for other people's transformations, because everyone's transformation is unique. But there is a process that everyone goes through in the transformational journey. I call it the 6 stages of conscious change. And there's actual process and stages people go through. And when you're looking for a coach or you're looking for somebody who can hold space for transformation, I would ask questions about what their ability is to facilitate that safe space and hold safe space for change to happen. It's not necessarily about what results they have gotten, because the results really are up to the client, but it is important that a coach understand, the spiritual journey and how experiential it is and how to hold space for that, so that you then know that you're in a space that is going to be safe. And that's important, especially when you're dealing with energy, because I've seen this, I've been in the personal development world for a long time. And I've seen a lot of people on stages too speak and open up, people energetically.
Yes.
And not necessarily close the space safely, and not even understand really what people are going through when you open up that space. So that's something we train on in our program. When you're working with light and you say you want to work with light as a coach, what does that mean? What is that actually doing for people? And, the impact that it's having on others. So you can ask those questions when you're looking for a coach too. What is your understanding of this journey and the light? Because it's important that when you're working with light, what light is going to do and bring.
Yeah. And the energetics and the frequency and all of those levels of things.
Yeah. So it's definitely involved. But right now, I think the coaching industry is full of, and I say this also with love, I think it's full of a lot of consultants. People who are able to talk and give advice, but not necessarily help your clients find the answers within. So that's a skill, the skill of coaching. It's a very, very beautiful skill. I have a lot of love for.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And that skill, even if you don't plan to go out into the industry and become a coach, it's so beneficial for your family.
Oh, yes. And yourself.
Yes.
Yourself. I have my beautiful clients tell me now they're even, still transforming, of course, after the program is over. And they're even just that much more profound at holding space for themselves. So one of my clients told me this not that long ago. She said, thanks to this program, I know how to hold space for myself with everything I'm going through now. And that is also so beautiful. It's just so important that we know how to hold space for ourselves and how to love ourselves through anything that we're going through.